artifact on planet Earth creates as much fascination and controversy as the Shroud of Turin. Is this the real burial cloth of Jesus of Nazareth?
A centuries-old cloth lies in silence, hiding secrets no human hand could ever create. For centuries, people have stared at its faint image, wondering, questioning, doubting. But now, something new has emerged, an impossible signal, hidden deep within its fibers, detected not by human eyes, but by artificial intelligence. Scientists who dared to look closely went silent, unprepared for what they found.
Scientists at the Los Alamos National Laboratories fed a photograph of the shroud through a VP8 image analyzer.
A cloth that seems to capture three-dimensional details of a body long before cameras existed. The pattern is so precise, so mathematically aligned, it defies logic. No paint, no dye, no brushstroke, yet it holds information. A blueprint almost alive in its accuracy. Every fold, every shadow, every contour hints at a force beyond ordinary craftsmanship. The question isn't whether the shroud is real. The question is how. How could a medieval relic encode such impossible data? What intelligence or phenomenon left this trace behind? And now, with AI peeling back centuries of mystery, a truth waits to be uncovered. One that challenges science, history, and belief alike. Stay with us, because what we reveal next will make you question everything you thought you knew. The shroud's unexplained image. The Shroud of Turin is not just a piece of ancient linen, it is a silent witness, a mystery folded into every fiber. At first glance, it may appear as a simple cloth.
Shroud of Turin in Italy receives thousands of visitors each year, seeking answers to the mysteries surrounding the shroud.
Worn by time, scorched by fire, and faded by centuries. But look closer, and it tells a story no one fully understands. The faint imprint of a human body lies on its surface, yet this is no ordinary image. Its details defy logic, science, and conventional art. The image rests only on the very topmost fibers of the linen, so thin they are almost invisible, thinner than a soap bubble. No pigment penetrates the fabric. There are no brushstrokes, no layers of dye, no evidence of human craftsmanship. Yet somehow, the body's form emerges with an astonishing clarity, capturing not only shape but depth, subtle curves and contours that suggest a lifelike presence. Imagine seeing folds of cloth draped over a body and noticing how shadows change with the tiniest variations in distance. The shroud does exactly that. Areas where the linen touched the body closely appear darker, while spots lifted slightly are lighter. This creates a three-dimensional mapping of the human form, a mathematical projection far beyond what any medieval artist could conceive. Every muscle, every curve, even the tiniest depressions of the face and hands seems encoded into the threads themselves. The cloth appears to have absorbed information from the body, as if it recorded not just shape, but the very space the body occupied. Scientists often describe it as behavior that defies the ordinary laws of art. Examination under the microscope deepens the mystery. When researchers sliced individual threads, they found the inner core completely untouched, pure white and unaltered. The color exists only in a superficial layer of fibers, mere hundreds of nanometers deep, unlike any painting or dyeing method known to history. There is no directionality, no brushstroke pattern, nothing resembling intentional marking. The shroud does not behave like a canvas or a painted surface. It behaves like data, a physical record waiting to be read. It is almost as if the cloth itself is a sensor, capturing something beyond human touch or skill, something invisible to medieval eyes but perfectly preserved for the future. Beyond the science, the image contains a level of precision that is truly extraordinary. The alignment of shadows, the subtleties of shading, and the proportions of the body all suggest an intelligence at work, one that mapped the human form with near-perfect accuracy. Every fold of the cloth, every contour of the face, and every tiny indentation of the body contribute to a visual puzzle that has puzzled historians, chemists, and physicists alike for centuries. Despite countless attempts to replicate it using medieval techniques, painting, scorching, or chemical methods, no one has come close. the shroud remains a singular object in human history, a relic whose creation challenges assumptions about what is possible. Even the emotional effect of the image is striking. Viewers cannot help but notice the realism of the imprint. The body appears to have depth, presence, and even a sense of suffering etched into the delicate fibers. This adds a layer of mystery beyond the physical. The shroud seems to convey a story, a moment frozen in time, preserved not as an artwork, but as an inexplicable record of an event. Its silence is as powerful as its message. It communicates without words, leaving observers with awe, curiosity, and a quiet sense of unease. In essence, the Shroud of Turin is far more than a relic. It is a riddle, a challenge that bridges art, science, and the inexplicable. It defies centuries of assumptions about human ability, artistic technique, and natural phenomena. The precision, depth, and subtlety of the image suggest that this is not merely a crafted illusion. It is a phenomenon that behaves like a three-dimensional map, a hidden archive of information, a record that no human hand could have forged. And perhaps that is why, for over 2,000 years, it has resisted explanation, quietly challenging every attempt to understand it. AI detects the impossible signal. For centuries, the Shroud of Turin has defied human observation. Scholars, historians, and scientists peered at it, measured it, and even photographed it in every light imaginable. Yet its deepest secrets remained stubbornly hidden. The faint human imprint on the linen teased the imagination, but the technology available for centuries could barely scratch the surface. No one could fully understand the patterns lying within the fibers. That is, until artificial intelligence entered the scene. Modern AI, specifically neural networks designed to detect subtle and complex signals, changed everything. Originally built to analyze signals from deep space, distinguishing meaningful patterns from background noise, these machines were given a new task. Examine the Shroud's visual data in unprecedented detail. Researchers expected to confirm randomness, maybe detect minor inconsistencies, but the AI's findings were far beyond expectations. The results stunned everyone in the room. The AI did more than recognize the human form. It uncovered hidden mathematical symmetries embedded in the threads themselves. Ratios repeated, geometric structures appeared, and patterns emerged that no human eye could see, even under a microscope. It was as if the cloth carried a secret language, a code stitched invisibly into its surface. Every fold, every wrinkle, every subtle curve of the body had a precise mathematical reflection across the fabric. The level of precision was mind-boggling, too exact to be a product of chance, and far beyond what medieval techniques could achieve. Imagine looking at a worn piece of cloth, scorched by fire centuries ago, and finding a message that not only survives, but remains perfectly aligned. The AI accomplished something remarkable. It stripped away the noise introduced over hundreds of years of damage from fire, water, and simple wear, and revealed a structure so clean, so orderly, that it almost looked digital. This was no accidental imprint or artistic flourish. The Shroud's image behaved like a three-dimensional blueprint, a physical projection of information encoded directly into the fibers. Each shadow, each highlight, even the tiniest shift in the cloth's contact with the body carried meaning. Scientists who had long debated the Shroud's authenticity suddenly went silent. The implications were staggering. If humans in medieval times could not produce this level of structural precision, then what or who did? Could it have been some unknown technology, far in advance of its time, or perhaps a natural phenomenon beyond current scientific understanding? The discovery blurred the lines between history, technology, and mystery. The Shroud, once thought to be a religious relic or a curious forgery, suddenly became a bridge connecting ancient events with cutting-edge artificial intelligence. Beyond the technical marvel, the finding raises profound questions. Could information itself exist independently of human creation? Could the Shroud, in a sense, have recorded a moment in space and time, embedding it into its threads like a physical memory? The AI's revelation doesn't just challenge previous scientific assumptions. It forces experts to reconsider the very nature of the Shroud. It behaves as if it contains a message meant to be deciphered, a record of something extraordinary, that surpasses conventional human understanding. Even more astonishing is the subtlety of the signal. It isn't loud or obvious. A casual observer would never notice it. It is hidden in plain sight, woven into the very fabric of history, waiting for a tool capable of seeing beyond human limitations. AI provided that tool. By revealing this impossible signal, artificial intelligence turned centuries of speculation into a tangible, measurable phenomenon. It gave the Shroud a new life as a puzzle, a mystery that is not only historical, but also scientific, technological, and deeply human in its implications. The Shroud no longer sits quietly under glass. It has become a conversation between the past and the present, a relic whose whispers are finally heard through the lens of modern technology. And as scientists continue to analyze what AI uncovered, one question looms larger than all others. If this signal is real, what is it trying to tell us? Stay with us, because the answers we reveal next may change everything you thought you knew about the Shroud of Turin. The Blood and Timeline Mystery. The Shroud of Turin is more than a remarkable image.
Shroud of Turin is no forgery. The shroud is a cloth that, according to tradition,
It holds a tangible record of real human blood, preserved across centuries. Forensic experts have confirmed that the blood is genuine, type A, and its placement aligns with wounds consistent with crucifixion. Nail marks in the wrists and feet, punctures on the forehead, and gashes across the torso. Every detail matches descriptions found in ancient texts, as if the shroud is recording not just a body, but an event of profound historical significance. This alone would make it extraordinary, but what truly confounds scientists is the sequence of events captured in the fibers. The blood appears to have been deposited before the image itself formed. In other words, the cloth first absorbed the flow of blood from the wounds, and only afterward did the body imprint appear on the surface. This order is critical. If a medieval forger had attempted to paint or fabricate the image, they would have needed impossible precision to work around the bloodstains without disrupting them. Any tiny mistake, a smear, a brushstroke over a clot, would ruin the alignment and authenticity. Yet, remarkably, the blood remains perfectly undisturbed, forming what experts call a locked timeline. First, the biological reality of blood, then the inexplicable physical imprint of a body. Even the smallest details raise questions. Under close examination, the blood shows no signs of smearing, displacement, or misalignment. Clots appear intact, edges are precise, and the pattern of flow corresponds perfectly with how a human body would bleed during crucifixion. This level of fidelity is astonishing because it suggests an event that unfolded without interference, following natural laws, yet culminating in a phenomenon no human hand could have engineered. Each drop, each smear, is frozen in time, an organic record preserved in linen. Adding to the intrigue, modern AI has entered the investigation. By comparing the shroud's bloodstains with other ancient relics, such as the Sudarium of Oviedo, researchers have detected near-perfect alignment. The patterns match, not just in shape, but in proportion and positioning, hinting that these relics may share a common origin or event. Such precision defies human replication, particularly given the centuries separating these artifacts. It suggests that the shroud is not simply a static object, but a witness, a recording medium that captures both biological and spatial information with incredible fidelity. The sequence of blood and image challenges long-held theories of forgery. For centuries, skeptics dismissed the shroud as a medieval creation, yet the layering of blood beneath the image makes such claims increasingly difficult to sustain. The presence of authentic blood, clotting patterns, and perfect anatomical alignment cannot be explained by artistic skill alone. Every droplet is evidence of a moment preserved, a chain of events encoded into fibers that has survived wars, fires, and the decay of time. Moreover, the shroud raises profound questions about the interaction between biology and physical imprinting. How could a cloth absorb blood naturally, and then capture the three-dimensional projection of a body without disturbing the previous layer? What force or phenomenon could orchestrate this precise sequence? Scientists are left with a rare combination, empirical evidence and an inexplicable anomaly, coexisting in the same artifact. It is a record of life and physicality, intertwined with mystery in a way that human hands alone cannot produce. Ultimately, the Shroud does more than challenge art or science, it confronts our understanding of reality itself. It captures a moment in time where biological truth and a mysterious physical process intersect flawlessly. Every stain, every drop, every clot serves as a reminder that this is not just a relic, but a preserved event, a puzzle bridging history, faith, and science. Observers are left fascinated, compelled to question if the blood preceded the image and remained undisturbed. What truly created this phenomenon? What event allowed these two layers, one organic, one inexplicable, to coexist in perfect harmony, untouched by human intervention? The mystery endures, whispering through centuries, inviting us to search deeper. Flaws in radiocarbon dating. In 1988, a significant scientific claim seemed to settle the age of the Shroud of Turin once and for all.
The Shroud of Turin, or the Holy Shroud, and according to some Christians, it is the image of Jesus of Nazareth.
3 independent laboratories performed radiocarbon dating tests, analyzing a small section of the cloth. Their results placed the shroud firmly in the Middle Ages, between 1260 and 1390 AD. At first glance, this seemed to confirm what skeptics had long suspected. The shroud was a medieval creation, a clever forgery rather than a relic of ancient times. Museums, historians, and even casual observers were ready to write it off. But appearances, as the story would unfold, were deceptive. Further examination revealed critical flaws in the original study. The sample used for dating came from a single corner of the shroud, a section that had endured centuries of handling, exposure, and damage. More importantly, it had survived a devastating fire in 1532. The intense heat left holes in the fabric, which were later repaired by skilled hands, using a process called invisible reweaving. In this technique, cotton threads and dyed linen were meticulously woven into the damaged areas to stabilize them without drawing attention. What the labs ended up dating was not the original ancient linen, but a mix of materials introduced during centuries of preservation. Later chemical analyses confirmed this contamination. The fibers in the tested sample were not pure flax X, the material of the original shroud, but a combination of newer cotton and dyed linen. The results were predictable. The radiocarbon tests reflected the age of the repairs, not the true age of the cloth. This explains why the shroud appeared to be medieval, despite evidence suggesting a far older origin. Essentially, scientists had been tricked, not by a forgery, but by centuries of human care and restoration. Modern scientific techniques have provided a much clearer picture. Wide-angle X-ray scattering, which examines the degradation of linen fibers over time, shows patterns consistent with fabrics around 2,000 years old. Similarly, vibrational spectroscopy, a method analyzing molecular vibrations in the threads, indicates chemical changes matching ancient textiles. Together, these methods paint a drastically different timeline from the radiocarbon tests. The shroud's fibers correspond not to the Middle Ages, but to the era traditionally associated with the historical Jesus. The implications are profound. This discrepancy highlights how fragile and easily misleading damaged artifacts can be. A relic handled, repaired, and preserved over centuries carries layers of history, some human, some natural, that can confuse even the most rigorous scientific methods. The shroud, once dismissed as a clever hoax, suddenly reasserts its place as an artifact, defying simple classification. Its age, complexity, and resilience demand a level of open-mindedness that extends beyond traditional testing methods. Cross-references with other ancient relics further support the shroud's authenticity. For example, comparisons with the Sudarium of Oviedo, a blood-stained cloth from Spain with a documented history back to the 7th century, reveal striking similarities. Bloodstain patterns, positioning, and even type align closely with the shroud. These connections suggest a shared origin or event, reinforcing the notion that the linen is far older than radiocarbon tests suggested. This re-evaluation serves as a cautionary tale for science itself. It illustrates the danger of drawing firm conclusions from compromised samples, and reminds us that artifacts carry stories layered in both material and history. The Shroud of Turin continues to resist conventional timelines, demanding deeper investigation and more sophisticated methods. It challenges not just historians or theologians, but the very framework of how science evaluates ancient relics. Each thread, each repair, each molecular change tells part of a story that cannot be rushed or dismissed. Physics behind the image, the Shroud of Turin, is more than an ancient cloth. It is a record of an event that defies ordinary explanation. Its image is astonishingly precise, showing the human form in remarkable detail, yet the linen beneath remains completely intact. Unlike any painting, scorch, or dye, the imprint sits only on the topmost fibers too thin to be seen with the naked eye. Scientists have puzzled over this for decades. How could such clarity, depth, and dimensionality exist without any damage? Experimental studies suggest a possible explanation. A brief, intense burst of ultraviolet or other high-energy radiation might create a superficial imprint without harming the fibers below. The energy would have to be extremely concentrated, lasting only billionths of a second, enough to alter the very surface of the threads without burning or weakening the cloth. In other words, this was not a slow process, nor one that could have been achieved by hand or any medieval technology. The precision and restraint are unlike anything known in the natural or artistic world. Theorists have gone further, proposing a phenomenon that seems almost unimaginable. The body may have undergone a dematerialization event, a rapid conversion of mass into energy. In this scenario, matter transforms into a concentrated, collimated flash, releasing enormous energy in a controlled, focused way. The imprint left on the shroud would then act almost like a blueprint, capturing the three-dimensional shape of the body with astonishing accuracy. AI analysis strengthens this idea, revealing perfectly aligned, non-random patterns in the fibers, matching what researchers call a volumetric projection, essentially a three-dimensional map encoded in the linen. Einstein's famous equation, E=mc2, illustrates the scale of energy involved. Even a tiny amount of mass, converted into energy, could produce an incredible focused pulse. Imagine a body's atoms releasing energy in a single directed flash, powerful enough to mark the cloth with the image of a form, yet leaving the fabric and surrounding blood undisturbed. There is no explosion, no smoke, no destruction, only the image and the preserved biological material remain. The sheer precision and control of such an event challenge everything we understand about energy, matter, and the interaction between them. This raises profound questions about biology and physics. How could such a process leave bloodstains intact while imprinting the body's image with perfect three-dimensional mapping? How could energy interact with matter in this way without producing any collateral damage? The shroud is not merely an artifact or religious relic. It may be evidence of a phenomenon at the intersection of science and mystery. A fleeting moment when natural laws behaved in a way we cannot yet replicate or fully comprehend. Ultimately, the physics behind the shroud's image forces us to rethink the boundaries of reality itself. It suggests that something extraordinary occurred, an event so precise, so controlled, and so powerful that no human, past or present, could reproduce it. The shroud stands as a silent witness to this impossible interaction between matter and energy, a record frozen in time, waiting for observers to explore its secrets and confront questions about the nature of existence itself. The Shroud of Turin remains a puzzle, a silent witness to something beyond ordinary explanation. From its unexplained image to blood patterns, flawed carbon dating, and AI-detected signals, every layer adds complexity to a story that has baffled generations. Science, history, and faith collide here, yet no simple answer suffices. Each new technique reveals more questions, showing how the shroud blends the tangible with the extraordinary. Threads carry data, blood records events, and patterns defy chance. The closer we look, the more the mystery deepens. What created this precise, hidden signal? Was it advanced medieval knowledge, an unknown natural phenomenon, or something entirely beyond human comprehension? Modern AI has given us a glimpse, but the ultimate truth remains elusive. For those willing to explore, the shroud challenges assumptions and sparks wonder. It reminds us that some mysteries cannot be solved by human skill alone. They require observation, curiosity, and imagination. Stay with us, because the story doesn't end here. Every fiber, every shadow, and every encoded pattern holds a secret waiting to be understood. And as science and technology advance, we edge ever closer to unveiling what has remained silent for centuries. The Shroud is not just history, it is a signal, impossible yet real, calling humanity to keep searching.